this week's chapter of Bleach, the old phrase, idle hands are the devil's playthings, has new meaning in this week's chapter because we are finally introduced to the true form of Pernita. And honestly, I don't think anyone could have predicted this. And I heard some pretty amazing theories, especially from my commenters. One in particular, I heard that it could possibly be Yachiru, who is the lieutenant of Kenpachi. And I think that would have been a really nice twist. But this one is even crazier. So the real premise of this week's chapter is that Pernita decides to reveal its true form, and while it's doing this, Mayuri Kurotsuchi is just getting a big stiffy and a hard-on for the madness of science. He's getting really excited over the prospect that he's not only fighting against a really powerful Quincy, but a Quincy which's true form is the left arm and hand of the Soul King. This was really unexpected. Earlier on in the series, we were formally introduced to the right hand of the Soul King, and if you guys remember, the Soul King's arms are completely gone from his body. They went down to Soul Society in different parts of the Earth, and they are now worshipped as these separate entities or gods. And it seems like the Quincy's have actually captured the left arm and basically created this experimental weapon known as Pernita, or actually like taken the arm itself and sort of like injected it into another Quincy, and that's where we have this massive, disgusting weapon. So what I love most about the actual like design of this thing is just like how realistic it actually looks to like a real hand. Unlike the other right hand of the Soul King, which kind of had this like weird shadowy appearance, this literally looks like this big, nasty Frankenstein's arm is just exploding out of this cloak. And I love that. It almost seems as if Pernita was not content to simply be a Jawa from Star Wars and showed us something really unique. And when you actually see it for the first time, you're just as shocked as Mayuri is, because it looks really creepy. It literally just looks like this massive hand exploding out of Pernita's neck. You have these two eyeballs which are right in the palms, and you also have these weird looking chains which seem to be sort of like holding down its power, which are coming out of each of its fingertips. And then later on, Pernita is able to use those nerve attacking abilities in conjunction with the fact that it is now a giant freaking kaiju arm. But despite that, Mayuri Kurotsuchi is more excited than he's ever been in the entire series. You know, every single time he has a battle, he always ends up seeing something that he's never seen before, and this time it just completely takes the cake. And aside from actually seeing the true form of Pernita in this week's chapter, just getting to see Mayuri Kurotsuchi's reactions and just how excited he is truly infectious. I also still love the fact that even though Kenpachi is out of the battle, I still think he is going to play an important role. I can still imagine maybe even that Mayuri Kurotsuchi is going to get pushed up against the wall, and then suddenly Kenpachi is just going to come in like a demon from hell and then just start destroying this thing. But considering that it is the left arm of the Soul King, I'm still not quite so sure. This really proves that Pernita is probably going to be one of the more powerful members that they're going to be fighting against, and it does make sense that they are going to be going up against Mayuri and Kenpachi, because honestly, I think there's only so many other characters in the series who could possibly even stand a chance against this character. But as exciting as this chapter was, it was also really simple. Basically, it was just the reveal of Pernita's true form, but it was still backed up by some amazing artwork. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of Bleach? This is what I'm talking about. This whole battle just keeps getting more interesting every single week. It was already really mysterious when they were fighting against Pernita, because we don't even know like if Pernita is male or female, and now the fact that it's just a giant freaky deaky looking hand, the mystery continues behind this character. And I really can't wait to learn a little bit more about how the Quincy's actually managed to capture this weird godlike arm and were able to weaponize it. I think that's going to be something that's really interesting. They might just completely sweep that under the rug, and it might be something you have to just sort of accept. But considering that the hand is going to be battling against Kurotsuchi, I imagine we're going to get a big scientific explanation behind all of that. And of course, you have a few onlookers in this week's chapter, Yuma, Chika, and all of them just watching, just sort of being the commentators of the battle. And they're more freaked out over the fact that Kenpachi's been taken out by Kurotsuchi, although he basically just did this so that he wouldn't get in the way and so he could conduct his weird, freaky science experiments. But my favorite thing about this week's chapter was definitely the artwork. It was really, really well done. Not only in just the look of Pernita's true form as the left arm of the Soul King, but also just Kurotsuchi's reactions, which are always just so creepy and nasty when he's laughing out loud or when he has a nasty grin on his face. He's just such an infectiously awesome character, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. He is a hero character. He's on the good side, but he really does come across as a villain sometimes, and that's something that I've always loved about his character. You can't really judge him by his outward appearance, despite the fact how crazy he really is. but I just cannot wait to see how this battle is going to unfold, especially because by the end of the battle, it almost seems like the left arm of the Soul King has actually decided to take over Pernita, but it almost seems as if Pernita is trying to sort of like take control again of the actual arm, almost as if it's sort of like resisting the power of the Soul King. And I'm not sure if that's really what's going on here, or maybe that's even tied to more of Pernita's powers, which have to do with compulsing and compulsory abilities, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Otherwise, this was a fantastic introduction to the true form of Pernita, and like I said, my favorite thing was the artwork and the fact that I don't think anyone could have predicted this. I didn't hear any prediction of anyone saying that Pernita was going to end up being the left arm of the Soul King or some other strange appendage. It was just a really nice surprise, and there's a lot of creativity behind that. I can honestly say that I've never seen anything like this from any other manga or anime series. It's just plain creepy, inventive, and awesome. And so was this week's chapter of Bleach. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I freaking love this one. Bleach is doing a really great job right now. They're really upping the ante in terms of the creativity, especially in the villains. And honestly, that's probably been one of the best things about the entire Bleach series. Whenever they do their villains and their antagonists, they're always really unique and unlike anything that we've ever seen from other manga and anime, and that's no more truer than in this week's chapter of Bleach. So Bleach fans, definitely check this one out if you've been following the manga series. If you are still sort of upset that the anime is done, I highly suggest at least looking at the manga, because there's some really exciting things going on right now, and the more we support it, the more that we read it, and buy the manga series, we might actually get more anime in the future, so let's try and do that, guys. So like I said, loved this chapter. 5 out of 5, check it out. But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think about the big reveal of Pernita's true form in this week's chapter? Did you see that coming? What do you think the big weakness of the left arm of the Soul King is going to be? Do you think Kurotsuchi is going to be the one to actually finish off Pernita? Or do you think that Kenpachi is going to come back like a raging demon from hell? Please tell me your thoughts in the comment section below, and please tell me what you guys hope to see from the rest of the final arc of Bleach. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all of your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media. And you guys should definitely check out our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. You guys can actually check that out on our YouTube page. And you guys can also check us out on iTunes. That's right. I'll put a link for that in the description box below. And we would really appreciate it if you guys would give us a good rating on iTunes. And if you have the time, please write out just a quick little one-sentence review telling us what you like about the show. You guys can also check us out on Rogue Intel. I'll also put a link for that in the description box below. You can see our show there, as well as a lot of other really cool podcasts, as well as more links to the iTunes page and to Stitcher and all that other stuff, so you guys can actually download that show for free and take us with you wherever you go. But remember, the best way to support our channel, as always, is to simply watch our videos and to share them with your friends. So thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby! Mayuri sees a hand, he's all like, ah!